Here with Jagged X, and we're going to do a little quick breakdown on our 2016 Polaris General. Now, we've had this car since it was brand new. We got it as one of the first Generals when they came out, and we've never really done anything. We use this thing all the time. It's been up north, and we've been using it for a couple of years now. I think it's got about 2,500 miles on it, and we've used it pretty hard. But I'll tell you what, it's been a great vehicle, and I thought maybe I'd give you guys just a little insight of what we did to this thing originally when we first got it, and kind of show you what this vehicle actually is. So we started with just a basic deluxe 2016 Polaris two-seat General. When we got it, we thought, well, man, this thing is really, really cool. We drove it around a little bit. It was great. It handled good. It ran really good. And we thought, there's a few things that we could do to this thing to make it even a little bit better. And the first thing that came to mind for us, of course, is the track width and the suspension. So, the General, it's fairly narrow, great for trails, but out here in the desert, we got a little bit more room, little extra clearance, little extra width would be nice. So what we discovered was the front suspension on the General was actually very, very similarly configured to the XP1000 Razor. Matter of fact, so much that we were actually able to use XP1000 arms on this to widen the stance. It gave us a 2-inch per side wider stance by using our race arms that we were currently building for race cars. So this has got an actual boxed chromoly front suspension that bolts right on. It's XP1000, uses XP1000 axles, uses the General brakes. We've got our big chromoly hub assembly, our bearing carrier assemblies. We built chromoly tie rods for it. Out in back, because the rear, this is not a trailing arm rear suspension, so it's an A-arm rear suspension, so we actually had to configure A-arms for the rear. So we got together with our friends at Cutting Edge Manufacturing, and we designed a pretty simple set of rear control arms that just widen it out to equal the front. So basically, this thing is about 4 inches wider than it came stock. Allowed us to put a 32-inch BF Goodrich tire on it. We're actually running truck tires on this one. This was prior to them, BFG actually having a UTV tire, so these are truck tires. It's a 32, 10, 50, 15 wrapped around OMF NXG wheels. Super great wheel. It's a beadlock wheel, super strong. All the wheel we're ever going to need. It's not the 3-piece wheels like you use on a race car, but they're still really strong wheels. For shocks, we got really, really lucky too. We were actually able to use XP1000 Razor shocks off the front of an XP1000 Razor. We use the same shock in the front and the rear. We changed the spring configuration a little bit, did a little bit of valving, and this thing rides just great. But those shocks fit, front shocks off an XP1000 fit the front and the rear of this vehicle. So that worked out pretty good. Other things that we did to this thing, obviously we sprayed it. It was orange when we got it. We sprayed it in a beautiful black. Our friends Chad Riccio at crdesigns gave us a great all gloss black paint job. Then we added some graphics from our friends at Wolf Designs. They did a great little graphics job, Jagged X graphics. We built a cage for this thing just to kind of get away from the stock lines of the cage. We whipped up a real simple cage, but it's got good height, nice lines. Probably a little bit stronger. It's all welded. Worked out pretty good. We used PRP, hooked us up with some really nice seats. These are the wide seats. These are a little bit wider than what their standard seat is. Of course, I'm a little wider than the standard guy, so fits pretty good. Put 5.3-inch PRP harnesses in it. Keep you all nice and secure. Makes the cockpit super comfortable, easy to drive. You can ride in this thing all day long, never get fatigued. We were able to use the stock sound bar that came with the Ranger, and we configured it into the roll cage. So we've got a Bluetooth sound bar above here, so you're able to have a few tunes. Not super loud, but little tunes when you're riding. Makes it really, really nice. Couple other things we did to this thing. It's got factory UTV skid plates, full length, with the rock sliders on the side, so you can beat this thing through the rocks pretty hard, keep the bottom safe underneath. Factory UTV always keeps our stuff underneath of the car, keeps it looking good. So thanks to those guys for that. We did a little modification on the front bumper just to kind of sport it up a little bit. The factory bumper, really functional, but we just added a little bit to it, sport it up a little bit, added a little light bar in there for a little extra light. And all in all, man, we came up with a great trail rig here. And you know, as it turns out, Polaris decided that this was a good enough idea. Now they're actually doing an XP General, which kind of comes just like this. So maybe we're ahead of the curve. I don't know for sure, but you know what? We've loved this thing. It's been a great vehicle. And you know, if you're not looking for the sportiness of a RZR and you're not quite ready to get into the utility side like a Ranger, man, look at the General. I'll tell you what, the General is a great in-between vehicle. Really clicks a lot of boxes, and man, it's a great trail ride. So take a look at them at your dealer.